Well, folks, today is the day. It's dyno day. I've got my carburetor back off my 455 Le Mans. It is now going to be running my 350 Pontiac that is on the engine dyno. If you watched our most recent episode, we were up here yesterday. We got this thing set up on the dyno and running. Did all of the initial cam break-in because this is a flat tappet Pontiac 350 build. It is running actual in-car headers. It has my Quadrojet off of that car, which I will also have to swap back on it in order to be able to drive back home today. First time I've ever seen anybody do this before. Otherwise, it is a basically stock Pontiac 350. It has had new head work done, new valves, exhaust seats in it, new flat tappet camshaft in it. I'll give you guys the cam specs before the end of the video. It has an Edelbrock Performer intake on it, not an RPM, just a normal Performer. My Quadrojet off of that car, a flamethrower, HEI ignition system. Otherwise, that's just about it. Nothing real crazy. Nothing we're expecting to light the world on fire. This is also a low compression build, meaning this is about an 8.5 to 1 compression, so it should be able to run on 87 octane. Which is awesome when gas is like $1 more expensive between 87 and 91, 92, 93, depending on what you get. Something I'm kind of leaning towards on a lot of my hot rod builds these days is to make builds lower compression to be able to still have a great time with them and still make plenty of great power and make great sounds, but also be able to be driven quite a lot. This is a car that I will probably put a lot of mileage on. My 1971 Le Mans was actually my very first Pontiac. It is a really nice green on green with a black vinyl top Le Mans Sport. So this is essentially all original stuff. I don't really want to replace any of the major stuff here. I honestly may even take this HEI off and go back to an old school distributor because I am also getting rid of running headers on this car. I'm actually going to run just standard exhaust manifolds to take it back to more of a stock look. I don't need it to be a hot rod. I've got that one to be a hot rod. So I'm going to kind of take this one backwards from where I had modified it over the years. After we get done with this one, we actually also have another Pontiac 350, and this one is a bit more load the parts cannon and hit fire. That is a 350 HO. It's a 1969 with 1968 with 1969 62 casting heads on it. This one does have a roller assembly in it, and we are also going to have around 9.2 to 1 or so, 9.3 to 1, which is pretty good, but not crazy, not definitely anywhere near what you would call a high compression engine. Should be a really, really nice unit. We're also going to test various different amounts of intake manifolds on it to be able to see what does what. I've got a torquer, I've got an air gap, but I might find one or two other things that I want to try on it as well while we have it on the engine dyno. Now that one's waiting on a couple of bits and pieces, and it'll probably be another week or so before we get it on the dyno, but that's going to be following very quickly behind this guy in here. Today, this should be a very simple episode. We're going to get this thing fired up. We're going to get some heat in the motor. We're going to verify that everything is good. Before I got up here this morning, because it's like an hour drive from my house to here, Bob has been in here and has replaced my old wires with a set of his MSD ones. These are good as far as we know. One of my wires, at least we think, was probably dropping out signal because while we were running it through the heating process and the break-in process last night, we could kind of hear a cylinder occasionally dropping out. So he's got a brand new set of wires on there. We're going to get this thing fired up, get some heat in it, and we're going to see what she does. Right now is the time you're going to guess. What do you think this thing's going to make? I'm going to tell you in a minute what I think I'm going to make. Or at least what I think I'm going to make, and then maybe my stretch goal. We'll see. Alright, so got oil pressure on the starter. We did not change oil, right? We still have the original break-in oil that's in this. This is running straight 30 weight break-in oil as well. Flat tappet break-in procedure is considerably more scary than everything else. Everything should be good. We have tightened down the rockers yesterday from where they were. We were kind of running originally kind of loose, so we got it all tightened back up, so everything's good to go on that. Realistically speaking, she should be good. It's heat cycled, everything should be fine. fire it up, get some heat in this motor, and we're gonna start making some pulls on it. Now, in 1971, these Pontiac 350s were kind of well, they were the entry-level V8 in all kinds of things from Pontiac. You can get them in all sorts of different vehicles. Typically speaking, they were also 2-barrel. This one actually itself was a 2-barrel. We've swapped, obviously, to the Quadrajet with a Quadrajet intake manifold, so we're going to pick up some power there. We've got a considerably more aggressive camshaft in it and like a half a point of compression above where it would have been from the factory. So, expectations, I'm going to say, Bill was actually up here, Old Man's Garage Bill was up here, and I asked him what he thinks this is going to make, and I'll be honest, he said exactly what I think. He said 350 horsepower, which I think is kind of going to be my stretch goal. If it makes 350 horsepower and like 375 foot-pounds of torque, I'll be super, super happy. If it makes beyond that, that's awesome. I would like to say, as a Pontiac guy, 326 horsepower. Good number. Check our fuel cell here, make sure we got enough fuel to actually do this. Oh yeah, we're golden. Probably 3 gallons of gas or so. I was nervous we had used up a lot of it on the warm up and break-in process. We ran it for probably 25 minutes last night at 2,000 to 2,500 RPMs, going to break in that flat tappet camshaft. For those of you who are curious, we did not take apart the springs. A lot of people will, in order to break these things in, will take the heavy spring out and run just on the inner springs. We didn't do that. It's a little bit of a risk, but we need to get this thing done and get it off here because he has 3 small block Chevys that are coming tomorrow to start working up here. So we need to get this thing ready to rock and roll and don't have time to mess around. Fingers crossed that the camshaft is okay. We don't have any problems with that. I think we'll be okay. Time will tell, but hopefully speaking, we're going to be just fine. Let me give you the camshaft specs before we get any further here. Which one's which?
So this is a hydraulic roller, 477, 480.
So this is a out-of-the-box cam XE268H. 477, 480. There's your cam card. Just so you guys know, so we can start the arguments. Let's walk outside real quick and see what this thing sounds like through the exhaust. Always love hearing what a building sounds like. Gives you your first initial impressions of the idle it's going to have, or the rumble it's going to have. That sounds real nice. That sounds real nice. I like it. Got a really nice gallop to it, almost very similar to my 455. I like it. Good cam choice.
So we are at initial about 14 degrees.
Okay.
It seems like it goes to 26.
Okay.
With all the advance in that distributor. So we'll make it full and see how it works.
Okay. And that is a stock curved. We haven't touched that flamethrower.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of the box, in the hole, and it's been in that car for a while. I don't even remember when I did that, or why I did that. To be honest with you, it's been a really long time. I've had this car for 10 years, probably 11 years. So obviously, there's going to be aggressiveness we can build into the timing, but this is for a cruiser. This is a literal car that I'm driving for car shows. I just want it to be healthy and happy. We never really actually even intended to build this motor. This was supposed to be just to take it out, clean it up, put it back together again, make sure everything's good to go. And then it ended up, we found some other problems, and then we found some more problems, and we found some more problems. And then we ended up building an engine for it. So it is what it is. This is not something we're going for like major power here, but it would be something similar to what most people would do for just kind of a, I don't even want to call this a budget build because it's not a budget build, but a basic build, maybe. We'll see. Also, keep in mind, this thing, when it came to the factory, was designed to run in a much lower rev range than what we're going to probably run this thing in. I think max power was like 4,000 or 4,500 RPM, somewhere in that range. And we're going to probably see max power somewhere maybe 400 or 500 RPM higher than that. I'd like to see it in the 5,000 to 5,250 range. The intake manifold is going to limit our power range. It's a 1,500 RPM to 5,500 RPM intake manifold. So it's not going to be a real rev happy motor. And typically speaking, that's not something you usually do with Pontiacs anyway. They're not a small block Chevys. I'd say we'd probably pull her to 6. I don't know why we can pull it any further. There's no way it makes power that high. I think we'll see max power at like 5,000 RPMs maybe. We'll see. You gonna give me a guess on what you think it's gonna make? Nope. It's gonna make what it's gonna make? So she started out pretty lean.
Yeah, it started.
And then richened up nicely once.
Yeah.
This is probably your secondaries opened.
Yeah. I should have waited just a little bit longer here to start.
Yeah, well, this is tricky too because you're doing a vacuum operated secondary.
Yeah.
Not just yank on it and immediately gives it all the things. But we were at 275 or 275 horsepower at 4,500 RPMs essentially, and 325 foot-pounds of torque at 3,800 RPMs.
And I know there's the timing, it sounded sluggish.
Yeah. I think there's definitely power in the timing.
Yeah.
Not a bad baseline though.
No.
And that little quadrijet. Good. It's good. For a reference, years and years ago, I actually ended up running a Holly, I think it was a Holly 1050, a Demon carburetor that was the house carburetor, and a quadrijet, bang, bang, bang on that 455 that's outside. And the quadrijet made 6 horsepower less than the fully race-built, all the bells and whistles carburetor. Also gets 15 miles to the gallon while cruising.
Sounds good.
Good.
Tongue's hanging out.
280 horsepower, 335 foot-pounds of torque. We're also running out of fuel here. It looks like at $5 grand. You know, the thing is, this is the same carburetor you've raced before. And you and I both have noticed an issue with it.
Bill thought it would.
Yeah. I'm gonna dial up the base fuel pressure a bit. We'll see if that makes any difference. Obviously, if it's leaning out as we get down there on the top end, it's gonna stop making power. So we'll make sure we got fuel correct before we play with anything else. We'll get some timing in this thing and see what it does.
4.3, 5 pounds.
So it went up about a pound, give or take, fuel pressure.
Maybe a little more.
Carry that power out better.
Yeah, see this here stayed down.
Yep.
See, this is the one
Yep.
before.
Yep.
So increasing fuel pressure brought that back down.
Yeah. And you can see how it carried that power out further when it didn't lean out.
Right.
And it also made power across the band better.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
I think we're ready to go
Throw some timing at it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were at 14 base.
Yeah.
First thing we're going to try, we're going to hook up the vacuum advance and see what that does. Because we were running very, very conservative timing at this point in time, just mechanical advance. So we're going to hook up the vacuum advance and we're going to see what that gives us. And we'll go from there. So, what do you guys think so far? What do you think we're going to see? So far, it sounds fantastic. I think we've got very realistic goals. I think with some timing, we're definitely going to crack 300. I never did dyno this thing in this car. So I have no idea what it made before. It did well before, but it wasn't anything to write home about. What did I say? We were going to make 375 foot-pounds of torque? We make... most torque we've made so far is 341 foot-pounds of torque. So we need 30 foot-pounds of torque, and I want to see some serious horsepower. We'll see if we can figure it out in timing. If it doesn't, I don't care. I don't care. It's still going to be a fantastic motor. It's still going to be tons of fun, and it's going to be a great cruiser. But I do want to see make 300 horsepower. horsepower, 349 foot-pounds of torque. And I moved our RPM range up another 500 RPM. I'm pretty sure I remember saying I expect to see peak horsepower at 5,000 RPMs, and I think I saw it at 5,009. All right.
So that's what it gained.
I like it. A nice big broad torque curve. So we moved the power band up from 4,500 to 5,000, 5,009.
Yeah.
Just so we understand each other how accurate I am. Picked up 10 horsepower on 500 RPMs and picked up almost 9 foot-pounds of torque at basically exactly the same RPM. So, you want to give it some more timing? Okay. What are we at the moment?
Still a 14 degrees initial, let's call it. It
Okay.
gives it, when you plug the vacuum vents in, it is direct vacuum, so it gives it a little bit.
Yeah. Our fuel pressure stay okay? Yeah.
Stay in the fives.
Tons of oil pressure too. Man, whoever did the machining work on this thing, I tell you,
Little gopher.
he's lucky.
It's a gopher.
So what do we want to go for more for timing?
Probably 3 or 4 degrees. Probably 3 or 4 degrees.
You like 4 degrees? And that's at 1,000 RPMs idle. You knock that idle down another couple hundred, just sounds even better. Interesting. That's at like 20 degrees base. Don't know what we have total all in though. Let's look at those graphs.
So those are the last 2 runs. The one that's on there is still a run.
It looks like it's leaning out a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went up 2 horsepower, 300 RPMs. Actually lost torque, but that's not super surprising.
Well, you still went from 349 to
354, so we picked up
Yeah, picked up a little torque.
5 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, and lost it in RPM.
Yeah. But we may be running out of fuel pressure here again.
We'll go over and see. No.
Nope. Okay.
So this is where you could take the quadrajet and start changing your,
Yeah. Right.
and you know what I mean, and start playing around with that stuff.
I don't have any of that stuff with me, and we're not doing that.
Well, and I didn't say we were, I just said
Yeah.
that is the way it should be done.
So maybe this is we're getting into a carburetor limitation at that point. That's interesting.
So this comes back to tell you that if you set the initial at 12 or 14, so it starts good, that there's enough mechanical and vacuum built in it to get your full advance.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't change a lot on horsepower when we really adjusted it, because we were already there.
Right.
The biggest change we had was we hooked up the vacuum advance.
Yeah. And that did make a significant move.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it works.
So, do you want to add more?
No.
Take some away?
I think you are seeing what you got.
That's what we got. Okay.
But it comes back to why I didn't make 350. I mean, we know the heads.
Well, it's also not a lot of compression.
Low compression.
Right.
I mean, we knew
the head should flow enough, but I think it's probably the compression issue. And if it's a carburetor issue.
Yeah, I mean, the AFRs ain't that far off.
Yeah. But if it's starting to run out of fuel.
But it's already went past $5 grand.
Okay.
I mean, I think you've got the package of where it is.
Okay. So you're happy with it as it is?
I am.
Okay.
Hey, are you? I mean, you may want more numbers.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's going to sound fantastic. It
has a nice rumble on it.
Does.
Idle.
Right. It's not a race car motor. I don't care. We wanted this as a baseline number, and it's our baseline.
Yeah. What did it say it was supposed to make factory?
The problem is it was a 2-barrel in the factory, so it was like 180 from the factory.
So I mean, we're dealing with a lot of iron turning.
Yeah.
And no compression.
We're barely above stock compression.
Yeah.
So we went from a 280 or 180. Well, that's also with all the accessory drive and everything else, but whatever. So we picked up at least 50, 60 horse probably over what it would have been from the factory. So
I mean,
and didn't touch these heads.
It's all stock.
Yeah, didn't do any porting or anything on the heads. We didn't do anything crazy.
I mean, it's just
also, the rev range is going to be limited because of that intake manifold. And a lot of people, Pontiac people, will say that an original cast iron Pontiac intake manifold will flow better than those performers do. So, could we take another intake manifold and put it on there? We could. Is it going to make a difference? Probably. It'd make a little bit more power up top. But
between 300 and 325
or 300 and 305.
I mean,
it's never going to be built. I'm never going to run it that high. I don't care.
Yeah.
It makes piles of torque
you
down.
build it for what we got at it.
Right. Yep. So, we'll call it quits there. I'm fine with that. And you can get on about your very busy schedule. So we're going to call it quits at 295 horsepower and 355 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a nice big flat broad torque curve all the way here, which is great for moving a big car. It makes good horsepower. It pulls it all the way out to peak power at like 5,400, somewhere in that range, 5,300. Yep. But it doesn't fall off like a cliff here. It'll pull great. Should be a fun driver. I like it. That's our baseline. Now we'll be able to really compare that one with all the bells and whistles at it, and more compression and a roller camshaft, a more aggressive camshaft, and see what we got. That's going to be the big question: is how much is the juice worth the squeeze? What's that going to make over what this makes? And we're going to obviously throw different intake manifolds at it. I think. I don't know. I don't know. The weird thing is, nobody builds Pontiac 350 stuff, so I have nothing to compare this to.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have anybody's cast iron headed Pontiac 350 build that I've ever seen that's built to run on 8.5 to 1 compression. I have nothing to reference this to. But it plays a good tune. It should be great in my 71 Le Mans to go get ice cream. So there you go, guys. What do you think? What would you do differently? Are you happy with it? Do you think I've got what I thought I was going to have? Do I try a different carburetor? I think I leave this thing alone. I think I put that carburetor on that motor in that 71 Le Mans, and I leave it alone. I don't worry about it. It performs well enough. I think that's our solution. Let me know what you think. This is Automotive Adventures with Austin. I own a personal corner of the YouTube internets. Appreciate you guys being here. We do a lot of different things on this channel, from some of my project builds, engine builds up here with Bob, engine dyno stuff, road trips, you name it, I do it. It's basically just automotive vlog style of a day in the life of me. This is what it's like, what I do in my daily life. So if you guys are interested in this kind of thing and you want to hang around some more, it'd be great to see you again. Click on the subscribe button. If you made it this far, click on the like button. You help pay my bills. Thanks for watching. Bob, anything you want to say to the people before we leave?
Peace.
There you go. Peace. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Let's get this carburetor pulled off, get it swapped back onto my car so I can get out of here. Believe it or not, yes, this is actually happening. See? That carburetor's good. Oh, this is hard to do one-handed. You got the idea. Here, hit the key, turn this thing over. She should fire right up.
You need me to tune this thing?
I think you already did enough tuning. We'll see. A little 15-minute carb swap job later. That's well, now, Bob, you made it worse. Keep this thing running. Back in business. I'll see you guys next time. Does that sound like a ticking noise to you? Or is that just me? Great. Something else to look at. I'm going home.